you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Aloha, everybody. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Financial Group, man, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. What's up, everybody? Or as they say up in Detroit, what up, though? And basically just simply means what up, what's going on, how's it shaking, whatever. Man, it's been a very interesting week. Sitting here getting over a cold and had some time to just chill out a little bit, reflect, try to get my health back on track, try to take care of myself, and had a lot of time to think and reflect and just, look at the notes I wrote for the beginning of the year in terms of the adjustments I wanted to make and some of the things I wanted to get done. And it was good. And so, moving forward, I'll probably take a little bit more time for myself just to have those days where I sit down and kind of clear my mind and just be at peace with things and look at ways to move forward in a more, I guess the word would be an intentional manner. And so today I want to talk to you folks about something that is extremely important and something that's going to help you and serve you very well throughout the rest of this year. It's about the land of opportunities or the land of opportunity. And that's going to be the name of today's show, titled The Land of Opportunity. And I'm going to rant a little bit here real quick. I believe we live in one of the greatest countries on the entire planet. And, we just have so much, regardless of what you think about what's going on right now, there's just so much opportunity laying around and just kind of walking around us and hitting us in the face every single day. But we're blinded to our greatest opportunities because of maybe how we think and some other things that I'm going to get into. But, there is absolutely no reason why we can't be successful in the United States of America or pretty much anywhere in the doggone world. And it's going to all be up to us. And on Martin Luther King Day, I was just kind of sitting there thinking about all the things that I've gone through in my life, all the things that Dr. King represented and all the things that he did. There's a lot to his background. There's a lot to his history, and I don't want to get into that. But one of the things I always do is I always take away just the simple fact of the amount of progress that I've been able to make in my own life and the amount of opportunities that I have been given in my own life, or the opportunities that I've sought out, or the opportunities that have presented themselves to me. And quite frankly, if I didn't take advantage of my opportunities, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you folks today. And if you can go back later and hear one of the previous shows I did about taking advantage of your opportunities, I think that would kind of serve you well. And I want to share with you folks a little bit about a land of opportunity that was in the Bible called the land of Canaan. And I'm a Christian and I share that with everybody. I have a relationship with the Lord and stuff like that. That's very important to me. So that's kind of but that's what helps to guide the decisions I make on a day in and day out basis. No, I'm not perfect. And no, that's not an excuse to not to get better every day. But again, we all have things that we're working on and we all have things that we're striving towards. And I just feel that in my own life, personally, it's what has had the biggest impact on everything that I do. And it's also had a very big impact on the people that are around me. And it's also had a very big impact on the kind of character that I've had. And it also has opened my eyes to a lot of things that maybe were hidden that had I not had a relationship with the Lord, I probably would not have seen those things. And so I don't want to beat you folks up with that, but I really want to get into this show and talk about the land of Canaan and the opportunities that people have and how you can spot opportunities and take advantage of them. Okay. So are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. So they sent out spies to take a look at the land that was called Canaan, or the land of milk and honey, because that was the land that God was going to give them to resettle and just kind of move on from all the things that had been through. And this is very important. I don't care where you are, who you are, or where you're at, what you're going through. There is a land of opportunity for you when you come out of some of the horrible situations that you may have gone through. There has always been something for you after that. there's always something prepared for you. And I'll say this, and I've heard this said before, for every setback, there's a comeback. I'll say that again. For every setback, there's a comeback. So if you're going through something terrible, man, I'm telling you, there is something for you. There is an opportunity waiting for you, because I believe that the rain falls on everybody, but the sun also shines on everybody. Okay. So everybody has the same ability, I believe, and the same opportunities to come through their situation into a great landing spot if they would only open their eyes and look for it. So they sent out these spies. Okay. They sent out 12 spies, and 10 of the spies came back with a bad report, but 2 of the spies came back with a good report. Now, a lot of times we can be herded into doing things because of the crowd. And so because these people, they looked at the 10 versus the 2, and they decided to kind of go with the report of the 10 in the beginning. But I'm not going to get into the whole story. But at the end, they ended up going in and possessing the land of Canaan. But here's the deal. So, and this is in Numbers 13:33. If you got a Bible, go crack it open, read it, read this chapter. Matter of fact, read the whole thing in context. So, but I'm going to get into verse 32, and it says, so they gave the Israelites a bad report about the land that they had spied out. And they quote, "The land we explore devours its inhabitants, and all the people we saw there are great in stature. We even saw the Nephilim there." These were basically giants, huge giants, the descendants of Anak that came from the Nephilim. "We seem like grasshoppers in our own sight, and we must have seen the same to them." And it's like, oh my God, we seem like grasshoppers in our own sight. And I talked about this before in another show about taking down giants, giant killers. And so you want to go back and listen to that show, it'll help you tremendously. But these people had an opportunity facing them. And 10 went out, came back with a bad report. 2 went out, saw the same thing, came back with a great report. And so I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to pay attention to this very closely. I'm going to give you 5 ways to spot your opportunities and some tips on how to take advantage of those opportunities. Okay, so, a lot of times you're just going through life and things come to you, just in daily life, either through talking to a friend, talking to your spouse, watching TV, reading a book. I don't care, playing a video game, playing golf, fishing. Things come to you because, we are living. And I believe that opportunities are living things. Opportunities are not dead things. Opportunities are living things. And number 1, the way to spot an opportunity is they are alive and life-giving. When an idea or an opportunity comes to you, that idea should be alive and life-giving. It shouldn't be an energy-draining, mind-boggling conundrum that's hard to wrap your mind around, or something that frustrates you, or something that stresses you out. These things are life-giving. And that's very important. So when you're talking to friends and people say stuff, you can tell if if you're a forward-thinking person, you can tell if these opportunities are good ideas or bad ideas, or I call them good ideas or God ideas. You can tell if you are a forward-thinking person that's constantly in the habit of looking for opportunities or ideas, things that come across your mind or cross your mind. You can tell, right? Something is going to jump inside of you. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but man, sometimes these opportunities come my way. And like I tell my assistant, or I talk to people about this, and sometimes people say, man, God sent you that opportunity. And I have to warn them and say, no, God did not send me that opportunity. Just because something come at you does not mean it's something good. It can be something bad disguised as good, right? You don't know. So you can't really get excited about every single thing that comes your way. You have to be able to dress these opportunities down. And then, right, once you see their components, then you can get excited, right? Not beforehand. As my mama used to say, don't ever count your chickens before they hatch. That's an old phrase, right? But the opportunity should be life-giving. All right, number 2, these opportunities that come your way, they should spark some serious ambition and unction to function, which is the desire to get moving, right? So after you've dressed these things down and you look at them and it's like, okay, They're life-giving. Okay, now you're getting excited because there's a couple of different things that are going to happen, right? Number three, they bring excitement. These opportunities are life-giving. They spark some serious ambition in you. And again, we're on the ambition series, right? We've been talking about ambition, and ambition is one of the things that will help you spot opportunities, but great opportunities have ambition built in, right? It's like a seed, right? You go to the store and you buy a seed for, say, to plant a tree for an orange tree. That seed has everything on the inside, right? You just got to put it in the ground, and then you put it in the ground. And if it's good soil, what'll happen is it'll begin to grow. And because the soil has nutrients in it and stuff like that, you just got to put that seed in good ground. And it's the same thing with opportunities. When these opportunities come, you can take that opportunity and sow that in good ground. And that can be the good ground of your heart or the good ground of your mind in order to get these opportunities to move forward and grow, because they do bring excitement. And number four, the one thing I love about great opportunities is they have immediate vision built in for those who are forward-thinking people. You can immediately see how they're going to add value to the lives of others and how they're going to generate, some sort of numerical return that could be phenomenal. And I'll give you folks an idea. So I have a lot of family, and I always want to help my family. And so anytime I come across great ideas or great opportunities, and opportunities that could be great for them, I share this stuff with them because I love them and I want to see them prosper and I want to see them grow. So Martin Luther King Day, I'm sitting here and I'm doing research. I'm, just kind of reading and just reflecting. And then I thought about one of my family members who's going through a little bit of a tough time. And they had talked about owning their own place. They want to own their own place. And the one thing that came to me was the fastest way to get out of renting something into owning something is to pretty much own everything. And that starts with owning yourself, taking ownership of your decisions, your choices, taking ownership of your time, and then basically taking that and then owning your own business. So I thought about the gifts and talents of this family member, and I texted them this idea that I thought was phenomenal. I said, hey, I just came across this. I think this would be great for you, and check it out. So I guess they read it and got back to me and said, well, this is great. I'm excited, but what do I do now? I'm like, yo, you got to figure that part out, right? You got to take the next steps. And then I said, here's a couple of ideas. Go run with this, right? Because if you do it right, you can make so much money, to them it would be a lot of money compared to what they're making per hour. And I said, if you spend the same amount of time, right, working on this idea and building this business for yourself, you'll be out of your job in no time and running your own business. And then you have your time for yourself. You can charge this much per person and on and on and on. And then I guess the idea simply died. And maybe they aren't ready for it yet. Maybe mentally they're not in the right place. But I thought it was a phenomenal opportunity of an idea. Very little startup. They're tech savvy. They can figure out how to get stuff on YouTube, get stuff on the internet, get stuff on Facebook. It doesn't cost them anything to set that up. And I said, you just start, putting up videos and doing your thing. And then boom, I think you're going to do well. But again, that idea is probably still out there. That opportunity is still there for them because there's absolutely nobody that I know of in their area doing something like that. Okay. So that's just something I wanted to share with you folks, that sometimes people will share things with you and you got to vet this stuff out. And number 5, opportunities, they come with their own resources. They come with their own resources. There's ways, like the idea I had presented to my family member. I already had looked on the internet. I knew pretty much how they could have got started, but I wanted to leave that to them and have them go do that research and they figure that part out. Because, I got my own life. I got my own things to do. And I don't want to be spoon feeding ideas and strategy step by step. And I think that when these opportunities come to you, you can figure them out step by step yourself. And that's the best way to go about doing it. They have their own resources. You can look the stuff up on the internet. It'll basically, you can figure out who to call. Funding ideas are built into these into these opportunities. These ideas will come at you really quickly because this opportunity, again, it's like a seed. It has everything built inside. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but these opportunities have like everything you need inside, right? Because I think that when God gives us opportunities, he gives us things. He gives us everything we need in order to make that thing work. Maybe we just have to unwrap, as we go through the dressing this thing down and unwrapping it, and then more and more will reveal itself. It's kind of like driving on a road at night. You can't see the whole road, right? You can only go as far as you can see with your headlights. And sometimes opportunities are the same way. You just got to kind of follow it down the path, right? For it to ultimately reveal all of itself. Number one, they're life-giving. Number two, they spark serious ambition and a desire to get moving. Number three, they bring excitement. Number four, they got vision built inside. Vision is very important. And number five, they have their own resources. And here's a caveat to all of that. Opportunities also have obstacles built in, right? They have obstacles built in. The land of Canaan had obstacles built in. There are giants in the land, right? It was such a great place with so many resources in there. And a lot of times in life, ideas are the same way. They could have obstacles in the way that you have to overcome and remove the obstacles. That's a very important thing in regards to taking advantage of these opportunities. You got to remove the obstacles. Sometimes it's like finding a hidden gem. You start digging through things and next thing you know, there's a hidden gem in there. These opportunities are the same way. But if you let the obstacles stand in your way, you're never going to take advantage of the opportunities. You're going to seem like a grasshopper in your own sight. I get that question all the time about, Harold, when can I retire? I don't have enough money to retire. The question is what is enough money, right? Do you want enough money to be able to burn up a wet mule? Like, you want that kind of money? Like, you can just go waste it? I mean, is that what enough means to you? Does it mean you're never going to run out? Does it mean that you can enjoy and live the life you want to live? Like, you have to qualify what is enough, right? And then I get the questions about, well, what if I run out? Like, why would you run out? If we don't have a plan, you might run out. If you go and do something that's not built into the plan, or if you get taken advantage of somewhere, or you follow some bad advice, maybe, right? So I want to present to you, if you're not working with me yet, an opportunity to sit down and talk with me. And the opportunity is free. It's an exciting opportunity, I think, because you're probably going to learn something. I'm sure you're going to learn something you probably never heard from anybody before when you've spoken to them about your finances. And I think that's exciting. So how do you take advantage of the opportunity? Well, click in the show notes and get on my schedule so we can have that exciting conversation. Or you can give my assistant Beverly a call in the office, 808-521-4401, and she'll be glad to get something scheduled for us so that we can have the opportunity to discover the new and the exciting for you. So, thank you very much for letting me share this show about the land of opportunity with you folks. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.